Hello everyone, today is Wednesday the 4th of June. It is about 20 to 7 in the evening and it's Switch 2 Eve. Currently I'm walking towards Smiths, which is a toy retailer here in the UK, and it is where I have pre-ordered my Switch 2. About a week ago or so they put a post out saying that they were doing a midnight launch at all stores, so I'm currently walking there now to take a look, see what the in-store display is like so far, and they'll be closing in about 15 minutes, and then we're going to sit outside. I've got my chair, I have a bag full of supplies, and I'm very, very excited, even have my Donkey Kong shirt on, to go and get the Switch 2, so let's do it. It's good to see they are still open. This is exciting. Alright guys, so I'm back home now, finally. I have to talk a bit quietly because obviously the family are in bed, but here is everything. I've managed to get, well, all of the accessories I want, bar the GameCube controller. That doesn't arrive until tomorrow in the post. But we've got the system, the official camera, the Pro controller, the wheels, a 256GB memory card, and of course the official carrying case. Now what I'm going to do is just quickly go through one by one, unbox them, talk about them a little bit, and we'll take a look at them more in depth in other videos. But for now I just want to do a quick overview detailing my experience going to pick the Switch up, the midnight launch expectations, and then get home and get into it. So without further ado, let's move all this stuff out of the way. So here we have the unit itself. Obviously I've got the Mario Kart World bundle, little bit of packing tape there, but obviously as I have a European model, it's got all of these warnings. On the back we have just the system going into the dock. It says that it's a download code, tells you how many players, tells you information about the game. And on this side we get more information about what the contents of the box are. Nice little art depicting the system, and that's about it. It does seem to be in a cardboard sleeve, and there is tape covering it on either side. So what I've done is I've got a knife, and we're just going to get straight into it. Breaking the seal. Here we go. Brand new system, launch night. Here we are. Here is the system in a box. We have the sleeve and the system, and again the outside is all exactly the same. This would be what you would buy if you bought the console on its own. The only difference is the outer sleeve if you buy the Mario Kart bundle. So, looking at the bottom, pull this tab out. Here we have some information. So it tells you how you can plug it into various things. Hold the button to detach, press the power button to enter or exit sleep mode. And wow, there we have it. The Nintendo Switch 2. I'm in awe. This is so... Let me just get my original Switch to compare. So here I have my original system. Wow, okay. Let's get this out of the packaging. Wow. Okay, first impressions, this is huge. This is honestly ginormous. Compared to the original, significantly larger. Buttons are also larger, and these thumbsticks definitely better, definitely improved. Obviously, got the release, back trigger, top trigger. Compare that to the right Joy-Con for the original Switch. This is insane. And we have the left Joy-Con in the nice blue. Again, the plastic feels very nice. It's like a matte, like a nice matte texture. These buttons are definitely larger, much nicer to hold. Buttons are nice and clicky. Feel very similar to the original Switch, not kind of mushy like the Switch Lite. But yeah, these are so, to hold like this, these are so much more comfortable than the original system. Now we have the console itself. Wow, that's huge. There we go. That is huge. And stunning. Large grills on the bottom for the fan. Quite a bit of heft to it, to be fair. It's quite hefty. Got the stand at the back. Definitely nice and strong, very sturdy. Stands up nicely. I'm going to... Wow, that clicks right in. Oh. Wow. This is amazing. This is insane. Compared to the original, this is huge. I cannot comprehend how much bigger this feels. And that is a really nice action there to pull that off. Super easy. That would be really difficult for me to pull off on its own. So I'm going to put that over here. Pull this next part of the packaging out. And inside of here it looks like we've got all the documentation, including the download code. I'm going to hide that here. So we've got all the information for the game. Switch 2 instruction manual. Tells you how to activate parental controls. And we have our cables. So we have the ultra certified high-speed HDMI cable. Should enable 4K, high refresh rates and all that. Officially branded by Nintendo. And we have the 2 grips for the Joy-Con for the mouse mode. So let's just remove the Joy-Con. Don't know which way. So the plus is on this side. And that just clicks on. Doesn't seem like it magnetizes, it clicks. But again, makes the buttons very nice. Still a bit awkward with the stick being in the middle. I'd say even more so than the original Switch. But the buttons being here on the top, it is a lot easier, and it is definitely playable like this. Definitely playable. So again, the click here, you can just pull it off, but if you press the button, it does eject it, and that will of course do the same for the one on the opposite side. Very nice, braided cable, Nintendo branding on the back. Very nice. They're made of plastic, but don't feel like they would break too easily. So now let's get into the fun parts. So here we have the Joy-Con grip. Wow, that is it's different. The original one had bits that went up the side here, whereas that is just very flat. There's nothing to it there. Whereas, I take these off, clicks in. Into that. Feels a bit cheaper, I would say. This grip feels a bit more hollow than the original one, but I also don't have too much experience with that original one, so I could be wrong. But again, it feels very nice. The size of the Joy-Cons make it a lot more comfortable to hold compared to the original. And if it was something that you weren't able to get the Pro controller, or you didn't want one or anything like that, you would do absolutely fine with these. These are very comfortable. Sticks are in a nice position. Buttons, you do have to move your hands more, especially if you have smaller hands to reach all the buttons. But again, very comfortable. You do absolutely fine with this. Oh, I've ripped it. Oh, I've ripped it. Here we have the dock. Oh, it's got that new packaging smell. Wow, that is much more substantial than the original. Nice and curved, 2 USB ports. And this back panel, I don't know, it flicks off, there we go. And then that reveals USB-C AC, HDMI, and Ethernet. Perfect. And we have a little hole at the top for the fan. Let's click that on. Let's take that system. Goes in nice and snug. Hopefully won't have any issues like the original Switch had in terms of scratching the screen, but I do have a screen protector to put on it in a second. Very big, very large. The whole unit in a dock is significantly larger than the original. And here we have a UK plug, USB-C, and we are rated for 60 watts max power, 60 watts. So definitely needs more juice than the original Switch. You will not be able to use the original AC adapter to power the Switch and the dock. I do believe you can use it just to charge the system on its own, but it will not be compatible with the dock at all. And here we have the cable. Nice and long. I can't even stretch that out in the frame. Again, Nintendo branded, and it is just USB-C to USB-C. So there we have it. That is the system all done and unboxed. I'm just going to go ahead, pop all this back in. Close this up, and we'll move on to the next item. So next, I'm going to move on to the Pro controller. Again, shows the new buttons on the side. Wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, designed to be held comfortably for longer periods and perfect for games that use the console's TV mode or tabletop mode. It says it includes the controller and a USB wire. And we have more images and Switch 2 branding. This box is significantly smaller than the original Joy-Con, Pro controller box, sorry. So it's a little bit harder to open this one. You've got to give it a good squeeze. It's very tightly packed in here. So let's open this up. Slide this out. And here we are. More paperwork. Nice sealed bag. Resealable. Nintendo branded USB-A this time. And of course, that goes out to USB-C. And here we have the controller. Wow, smooth. Okay, straight away. The material for the controller, very nice and kind of similar material to the Joy-Cons. It's a almost softer kind of plastic compared to the originals. When they said the stick was smooth, they were not lying. That it feels like it's all coated in rubber, which is really nice. I can see, which I don't know whether that would be concerning or not, but you can see a little gap inside. I don't know if that's the light and the shadow, or if that would be an issue in terms of letting like debris past and things like that. But hopefully this controller holds up well. We don't have any issues with it. The buttons click. They have a little bit more travel than the original would, I'd say, which I like. I didn't really like the way the buttons felt on the original controller. And the D-pad, it is improved, not massively. It's not a DS or a Game Boy D-pad, but that is, I would say, yeah, that is improved. The buttons on the back, not too clicky, perfect position for them. And this is going to be perfect for playing on TV. Very comfortable, very nice, and it is noticeable holding this that it is different to the original Pro controller. And of course we have the Switch 2 branding. Now I'm going to move on to the case, because I'd really like to get the screen protector on. I'd preferably like to not ruin the Switch before I actually get on and use it. But obviously on the front of the box we have the case, the picture, more images, carrying case, cleaning cloth, screen protector. Very nice. Also says it holds up to 6 game cards. Let's go ahead and remove this. There is more inside, so don't forget. We have more paperwork. And what looks like the screen protectors and the cloth. So, let's move the box out of the way. Put these here. We have the instructions. So, here is the case. The logo is a lot harder to differentiate than I would have imagined, but it is a hard kind of material. It's like a fabric, quite hard, but also like squishy. We have these, which feel like they're made of like a soft plastic. Match the colours of the Joy-Cons though. And we open it up to reveal where the console would go. It would just nestle in there quite nicely, and we have space for the game cartridges up top, as well as a netting here. There we are, screen protector on. It's not perfect, but it will do the job for now. So let's go ahead and put the rest of this away. I did think it came with 2 screen protectors, but it seems like it is only the one. Out of the way, not an issue. Get all this packed away back in the box. All of these boxes will of course be going on display. I shan't be throwing anything away. Now we'll have a look at the camera. So, very excited to give this a go. my brother, if you have seen my last video, I did mention that my brother had bought the Piranha Plant one. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get that in the end, but he has bought a standard USB webcam, and we're going to hope that that will work with this. But it'd be very interesting to give this a go, and I will be doing an in-depth video on this camera. So again, more paperwork, resealable bag, USB-C to USB-C cable, seal that back up, and it's on its nice little pedestal look. So again, box, very similar, tells you how it works, how you can have people, how you can adjust things like that. I already feel that the stand is very high quality. Wow, that is, look at that, Nintendo Switch 2 branding. That feels like plastic. This is metal, that's cold. Got a nice little stand, little hole back here for the wire. USB-C plugs in there. Nintendo logos on the bottom, and we have the camera on top. It's nice and little, not very big at all. Stands up right next to the system. That's really nice. I thought it was honestly going to be bigger than this, but that's really nice and small, not too intrusive at all. And it does look like, yes, there is a cover to cover up the camera if you wish to have your privacy. So nice and simple. Get all that packed away back in the box. And time for our final box. Now these I got for me and my wife. Shows you putting the Joy-Con in, more information, more pictures. Again, I'm assuming it to be similar to the Pro Controller, and no. So, in bag one, we have the red controller. Right, very nice. Really nice size. This looks like a fake leather, it's not, it's plastic. But just because it's plastic does not mean it feels cheap, and it does not feel cheap. It feels very nice, very comfortable, especially if you're going to be using the motion controls. You're only going to be pressing on the button. Again, more paperwork. And here we have the blue version. Very nice. Again, hard plastic. If we take our Joy-Con, just slots in with the magnets. Back buttons are so, with these triggers here, they are so much easier to hold, to be able to activate them. They do have a bit of a slightly mushy feel to the buttons, but you will be able to activate them and press the buttons and obviously turn the wheel. You can still even use these sticks if you just want something just to make it easier to hold. Stick it in there. That one's a little bit more awkward because the stick's obviously higher up, but again, same kind of motion, you get to turn like that. This is a lot easier to hold if you want to use motion controls for Mario Kart. Definitely good, especially for the price, they're not too expensive. And there we have it, guys. There is the Nintendo Switch 2 system, all unboxed, all ready for you. There's going to be a lot more content coming out in the next couple of days where I go through explaining what the Switch is like to use, comparing it to the original one. I should have some side-by-side videos comparing graphics and things like that. But most importantly, I'll be doing in-depth videos on things like the GameCube controller, the camera, the wheels, and the system itself, and just many more things to come. I mean, there's so many games coming out that I'm looking forward to. I should be able to do some videos on those for you guys. But for now, this has just been a quick unboxing experience, collection experience, midnight launch experience for the Nintendo Switch 2. I've been so happy that I've been able to get one. I've been incredibly lucky, and now I think I'm going to go and have a little play. So I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.